carry power like this information and give to people. No, keep things to yourself, my sister. Keep things to yourself, guys. It will help you to save you from a whole lot of bullshit. Hi guys, Naya here. Welcome back to another episode of Shades of Naya. If this is your first time of tuning in, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. If this is your first time of tuning in, please don't make it your last. Kindly hit the subscribe button. And if you end up enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up. So let's get right into today's business. So today I'm going to be talking about the power of silence, the power of the power of zipping it. Silence is very powerful in so many situations. It is key to emotional maturity. One of the things that would help you to learn how to move in silence is to listen more and talk less. Like, apparently, obviously, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So it is only logical that you do more of listening and less talking. It's even in the Bible. God said that it is only a fool that talks, and talk. But a wise man knows when to talk, when to speak, and when to keep quiet. So we should know when to speak and when not to say anything. You shouldn't always have the need to put your opinion out there. You shouldn't always have the need to say something. If that thing you want to say is not going to make a difference clearly, or it's not going to make any necessary obvious impact, then there's no need saying anything. Like, if you notice, people that keep quiet a lot, when they go out and eventually talk, people would always want to listen, because people always wonder what it is that is going through their head. People will be like, oh, they want to know what is going through this person's head. So whenever you open your mouth to speak, people are always willing to listen. Because for instance, if I go out to a place where people are always gathered, I always do well to observe. I wouldn't be the first person talking. I don't even talk, basically. When you go out, just keep your cool, keep quiet. You observe the people around you, know when to say something and when not to speak. At least when you observe people around you, when people are talking, you listen. You have enough time to process information. You have enough time to process the information they are giving. And then when you eventually speak, it is going to be believed that you've thought it through. And whatever it is you want to say, you've thought about it. And then what you're saying should be meaningful. Whatever statements you're giving, whatever inputs you're giving should be clearly meaningful. And that can happen only when you listen more. Keep quiet. Don't always feel the need to say something. You don't have to put something out there. Nah, it's not necessary. One of the things you should keep quiet about, or you should keep private, is your relationship. I'm not saying your relationship should be a secret. There is a huge difference between being a secret and being private. You shouldn't be anyone's secret lover. You can be private but not a secret. Like, your friends should know who is your man, who you are dating, who you're hanging out with, and all of that. But they don't need to know the core details of your relationship. They don't need to know about the things that goes down in your relationship. They don't need to get the full details of whatever happens in your relationship. I'm not saying you cannot post your man on Instagram. Yeah, you can post. A lot of people posting their man on Instagram, but we don't know the details of what is going on in their relationship. And that is how it should be. Your friends should know who you're dating, but not the details of not every tiny details of what goes on in your relationship. I'm not saying you cannot have 1 or at least 1 friend, maximum 2 friends that you can meet for an advice, but not 5, 6, 7 friends. No, now. How can you have 5, 6, 7 people you're telling your matter to? How can you have 5, 6, 7 people in your relationship? They're going to give you advice and you'll be confused. Obviously, because when you have so many people in your matter, so many people in your relationship, that relationship will start going left, because you'll be so confused. You wouldn't even know what attracted you to that person in the first place. Do you get? Because you have a lot of opinions from different people. You shouldn't put your relationship out there, or the core details of your relationship out there. You have friends for different reasons. I'm not saying you cannot have 7 people you love or 7 people you shout with and all that. Yes, you can have that. But there should be 1 very close person you can confide in, that you trust. You can have friends for business that you know that when you tell about a business, yeah, it will excel, because the person is very, very calculating, the person is very, very assertive and all that. The person is smart in business. That's one. You can have friends that you go out with, eat out with. These people are not your close friends. You should have 1 particular person you can relate with in some certain situations about your life. Do you get? If you even need relationship advice, you can meet your friends that are in successful relationship, and when you're even telling them about your mind, you don't need to give them so much information. You don't need to give them TMI. There's no need giving so much information. You can give them information on the surface level. You don't need to tell them the basic details of everything your man has done. Do you get? Public opinions never ever do well in private or personal relationship. Never. I'm going to use Shoma and Davido as example. When they broke up, I know it's none of my business. Sorry, absolutely none of my business. I was looking for gist on Gist Lover everywhere. I wanted to see what happened. But I didn't get information. People were just giving different things. It was clearly obvious that Shoma doesn't state their relationship problem to the public, because obviously if she had told like so many friends or celebrities she hangs out with who must have gotten the gist, would have gotten the actual gist. But because we don't have this information, so we didn't get the core details of what really happened. And now today she's back with her man and they are married. Do you get? So keep your relationship issues or your relationship details of your relationship to yourself. Trust me, people don't really care. Most times when you even go out telling your friends, they just want to know the bitter things or the sad things that are going on, so that they can laugh at you or so that they can share with their other friends. Do you get? Stop telling people details about your relationship. You might say, oh, it's because you're looking for advice, but you can't be looking for advice every day now. It's somehow. So keep some vital information about your relationship to yourself. Even in situations where you're looking for advice, don't give out everything. Don't give out too much. Giving out too much always comes back in a bad way. Another thing you should keep quiet about is your financial details. Your financial details should be a secret. It is your secret. In fact, it should be sacred. Don't go about telling people how much you earn now. Don't go about telling people your income is somehow. I'm going to give you guys an instance. There's this guy that works with an IOC. I'm not going to mention the name of the company. So he went out with his friends one day and started bluffing. Do you know how much my company is going to pay me as terminal benefit when I'm done? Because he was almost retiring. So he mentioned the amount. And there were two guys there that were obviously not interested in their conversation initially. But the moment the man mentioned the 200 million naira, they became interested. And the sad thing about it is that the man even mentioned the date they were going to pay him. Said a lot of things, that they were going to pay him 200 million as his terminal benefit, and that was it. Those guys got the information. They found out about where the man lives. They found out about where he works. The day they paid him that money, as the man was entering his car from office to go home, they took him. He was kidnapped. They kept that man for 5 days. The money was in his current account. Obviously, he hasn't moved the money yet, because that was the day the company paid him. Those guys cleared the money from the man, cleared it from his account. The terminal benefit, the money he has worked for, the whole award, the whole benefit of working for 25 years left, vanished, just because why? The man bluffed, went out, as in, most people take it as bragging, right? Even if you're amongst your friends, it's not a must that you stay the amount. You can just say, oh, my company is going to settle me, now I'm going to become a pensioner and all of that. That's quite understandable. Nobody would have turned towards your direction. Nobody would have picked up interest in whatever he was saying. Do you get? But the man went ahead and mentioned the amount and all of that and lost the money. In situations like this, people even lose their lives. So your financial information should be very, very dear to you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't discuss your business or finances with people. Obviously, you have friends to discuss business with and then finance and all of that. But you don't need to give details of how much the deal you just got is worth, or how much the contract you just got is worth. You don't need to give all those details now. There's no need for that. I'm going to give you guys another instance. I went to a club some days back, and this guy walked up to me and started saying that, oh, I just became a billionaire 2 days back and all. Fine, I'm going to take it as per your bluffing after you've had enough to drink. And even if it was not bluffing, hey, yeah, congrats to you, Jigget. But what caught my interest is that the guy went as far as opening his phone, showing me the contract. I saw the people he got the contract from. I saw the title of the contract, the job he was going to be doing for them. I saw the amount, the worth of that contract. And in my mind, I'm like, bruh, this is too much information. You're giving to me, a girl you don't know. You don't know if I'm a spy. You don't know if I'm there to get information from you. And you're just there showing me everything. Why? There's absolutely no need for that. Do you get? It happened, and I felt like a serious need to add financial details to this video. Now, your financial details should be kept to yourself. I know that situation, they will say, oh, this is the net worth of this man, this is the net worth of this man. Yes, it is their net worth. They probably have companies somewhere, buildings somewhere, and all of those things accumulatively will give us the man's network, right? But the net worth, but they won't come and tell us that, oh, this is the particular income I have, this is the total amount I have in my bank account, I have 2 million naira in my UBA, I have 5 million naira in my Zenith, I have 200 million naira in my GTB. No, nobody will come and start saying that. You shouldn't give off your financial details like that. Don't go about telling people that this is what I earn. No need for that. You don't need to tell somebody this is what your income is. If it is 100 naira you earn, please spend your 100 naira in peace. If it is 200 naira you earn, spend it in peace. If it is $100 million you earn, spend it in peace. Don't go about creating unnecessary attention for yourself and making yourself a target. You cannot just come outside and say like, oh, this is my watch is worth $100,000. There's no point for that. Why would you come out and say your wristwatch is worth $100,000 in front of people in a public place? If you say that, obviously you're telling people that I have much more valuables in my house, and you become their target. They just put you in mind that, oh, if we can attack this man, if we can visit his house, we are going to take a whole lot more. And trust me, that is how people put themselves in trouble. And in worse situations, when you go out bluffing about your finance, probably because you have better finance, or probably because you have bragging rights for those your finances, you end up putting yourself in harm's way. You end up putting yourself in trouble. And in some situations, you end up losing your life, because most people that are being kidnapped, some people, they take whatever it is that they have and they don't come back alive. So we have to be careful about the things we put out there. If somebody asks you an uncomfortable question, an inappropriate question, you can ask them an inappropriate question too. Do you get? Nobody should come about and ask you, oh, what is your salary? Sister, brother, my salary has nothing to do with you. Even giving details of how much your man gives to you is not necessary. For instance, you cannot go about telling your friend that, my guy just gave me 250k, he gave me 500k last week. No need. You can just tell them that, oh, my guy sent me money. There's no need to give the exact details. You cannot be telling a girl that the boyfriend gives 50k, that your guy gave you 500k. And that's how people put themselves in trouble. They'll go about sharing their pictures on social media, sharing the good things their husband normally do for them on social media. And then people, girls on the streets, put your husband out there and it becomes a target. These girls will intentionally go after your husband because everybody wants a good thing. They want to be taken care of. Some people, they will do it intentionally just to make you unhappy. They want to bring you down. They'll be like, oh, do you think everybody is happy for you? No. This girl that is showing off, let's show her that we can get her husband. Let's show her that we can take her husband's attention from her and all of that. You don't go out giving too much information about yourself. What's the point of saying, oh, sharing on Instagram, my husband just sent me 5 million naira for Christmas? Sister, why don't you just take your 5 million naira in peace and enjoy it in peace? I'm not saying that there are not situations where I've not made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but I've learned from them and I'm improving. And that's why I even want to do this video, so that you guys will be careful on the kind of information you put out there. Be careful. Your finances should be a secret. Your finances should be sacred. Keep those information to yourself, whether you work for your money, whether you're being gifted the money or whatsoever. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. 100%. Another thing you should learn to keep private, another thing you should learn to keep to yourself is your goals and your future plans. This is very, very important. Very, very necessary that you keep your plans to yourself, at least until it has materialized. At least results can speak for itself now. You don't need to go about telling people your plans. When I intentionally shut up about something, the tendencies of it going on as planned is usually higher than when I involve someone. In fact, when I involve someone, it flops. So you should keep your goals and your plans to yourself. When you tell like 5, 6, 7 persons about your plan, most times they put their fears into you. You can tell somebody that has doubt about themselves already, and they see that, oh, this person has this kind of great plan. They'll try to talk fear into you and then bring you down together with them. And that's why it's not always good to tell people your plans or your goals. You can even tell somebody that, oh, I want to get house, or I want to get car. They'll look at you and be like, sure, you're a young girl, you don't need house. You get married, your husband will build house for you. You start thinking about it. Or you can just tell your mom that, I want to get a car. Sometimes mothers can be like, you don't need a car. You will scare men away. Or your husband will get a car for you. There's no need to rush. You can be using both. You can be using Uber. My dear, most times, telling a lot of people, even family members, sometimes innocently, they'll give you advice that is not good for you. So please, avoid telling people your plans. I'm not saying that there are times when you wouldn't need advice. Maybe you want to do a business, and there's somebody that has done this business before, you can go meet the person for a professional advice, get 1 or 2 things from them, and carry on. And you don't even go about telling them full details. For instance, you just graduated as a pharmacist, and you want to set up your own pharmacist. You meet a pharmacist and be like, please do blah blah blah. You tell the man what you want to do. The man gives you his advice. You don't need to tell the man that, give the man so much information that, okay, thank you, sir, I'm thinking of opening like 10 branches, 2 in Owerri, 2 in this, 2 in that. There's no need for that. You cannot be telling a man that has been a pharmacist for 3 years and has only 3 branches that you want to open 15 branches. You're telling the man to his face that you want to become a competition. You want to tell the man that this thing you've been doing for 20 years, you are not smart though. I will show you how to do it. Do you get? You don't go about telling people your plans. You just tell them the surface, tell them what they need to know. I'm not saying that situations where somebody might tell you, you tell somebody that you want to do a business, they'll tell you, okay, how much do you have? You don't need to tell them the exact amount. You can just give them a range, because most times they want to know your capacity, so they will know what to tell you or how to advise you better. That is understandable. You can give them a range, but you don't need to give them full details. You don't need to give them exact amount. There's no need for that. Don't go about telling people your plans, telling people a lot of details about you. Don't give people too much info about yourself. Don't tell them about your goals. Don't tell them about your plans. If you're confused about something, you can meet somebody that has done it before to put you in the right direction, to give you an highlight about what you're about going into. Do you get? But there's no need to give full details. Always avoid giving full details. Another thing is that keeping your life private reduces stress. It reduces a lot of stress. Being private or being a private person reduces a lot of stress because you do not seek validation with anyone's opinion. You know that confidence you have about yourself when you hear something about yourself outside and you don't even bother addressing people or correcting them because no one knows you. No one knows who you are. No one knows about you. Yes, that is the confidence you get from being private about your life. You don't really care. No one knows you because they're only trying to formulate things, and you need to know when people are trying to trick you into giving answers you don't want to give. For instance, some people can just come at me and be like, that we know you now. This one, that one, say a lot of things and want you to say something. There's no need for that. You need to learn how to resist the urge to want to defend yourself. Always wanting to defend yourself. There's no need for that. There's no need for any explanation. You owe nobody an explanation. For instance, somebody might see you out with somebody and will be like, we saw you that day now with this so person, blah 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 blah. Be like, yeah, for a business meeting, you could have come to greet us now. You could have come to greet me or something like that. I can say something like that. They'll look at you. Because sometimes I'm not really looking for your answer, because even when you give them an answer, they already have like their own opinion about whatever they saw. Do you get? When somebody tells you that kind of people, like, why didn't you come to greet me? Simple. Why didn't you come to greet me? Yeah, living a private life actually gives you peace of mind. Like, there's this so much peace that comes with living a private life. I'm going to give you guys an instance. There's this guy that my former company where I was working, something happened and all fingers pointed towards that guy. Why? Because he started traveling up and down with his family, posting, and it was obvious that his salary cannot afford that lifestyle. So when issue of theft came up in the company, he was the first person all fingers pointed to, and they started assessing the guy. Why? Because he was giving up too much information online. People were viewing his status, and to make it matter was, he's a guy. If it was a lady, some people can actually just say, my man gave me the money. My man provides for this, my man provides for that. Ladies can escape with a lot of things. See, I'm sorry to say, but I know ladies work for their money, but the truth about it is that in Nigeria, if a lady is hungry, she has 3 or 2 persons she can call and cry to, and there will be food on her table. Food will be provided for her on her table. But for guys, it's rarely so, unless you're calling your main person. And most times you have to return it, you have to refund, you have to return the money. You get? So it was quite obvious that the guy was doing something. I'm not saying you cannot have other hustle, other businesses you're doing. You can obviously have like a normal other business you're doing, legit business, and get your legit money. But the way the guy was spending the money, it's not the way you spend money you suffered for. Do you get? So they investigated the guy and they found out that, oh, obviously the guy was stealing from the company. And the guy is from his position. He was actually not really anybody in the company. I'm not saying it's nobody, but obviously management staffs were involved in that theft. But nobody suspected them because they were not, they were not posting up and down. They were not posting things on their status up and down. The only management staff that got indicted was because they know that the guy cannot pull out that kind of theft without getting approval from somebody. Somebody must sign before money will leave the company. You get? And that was how they know that, okay, this particular management too was also involved in this theft. But basically what sold off the guy, or what sold the guy out, was the fact that he was posting his on-end lifestyle. Sorry to use the word on-end lifestyle. He was posting too much on social media, and all fingers pointed to him, and he fell. When the day of judgment came, he fell. It was easy for them to just point at him, and after investigations, he was found guilty. So keep your life private, keep your things personal to yourself. Don't go about telling your friends, and a lot of situations where you tell your friends things and you guys fall out, those things you tell your friends, some people don't know how to keep it to themselves. They go about sharing it because it becomes the power they have against you. Don't go about saying things. Don't give people power. Do you get? Don't carry power like this, information, and give to people. No, keep things to yourself, my sister. Keep things to yourself, guys. It will help you to save you from a whole lot of bullshit. In fact, don't even go about asking people questions you wouldn't want to be asked. If somebody asks you an inappropriate question you don't want to answer, you're not being forced to answer, tell them you don't want to answer and move on. Do you get? Nobody should come and make you feel uncomfortable. If they make you feel awkward, you ask them inappropriate questions too that will make them feel awkward and get going. It is not a must you answer every question that is being thrown at you. You can decide to answer, or you can decide not to answer. If you think it is too personal, those information shouldn't be let out, please keep it to yourself. Don't give people power over you. Trust me, information is power, and that is why there's more power in silence. Imagine people don't have your information. You have your own power to yourself. There's power in silence. Where is your power when everybody's mouth is in your business? Where is your power? Or when you're always saying so much, where is your power? Because when you're always saying so much, you're always definitely going to give out info about yourself. Where is your power? There's power in silence, people. Keep your things to yourself. So I'm actually going to end this video here and meet you guys in my next video. Please, if you know this video was insightful, if you know you learned one or two things, kindly hit the subscribe button and please give my video a thumbs up. Okay, see you in my next video, guys. Bye.